If I were to share with you the basic storyline of Jesus in the Bible, I would start by asking you a question. What's our world like? What do you see in the news? In discussing current events, it does not take long to find ourselves talking about brokenness. Page through a newspaper and you'll soon conclude that we live in a messed up world. On a global scale, there is war and famine and natural disasters. There's disease and there's poverty. There's political oppression and violence. In families, there's abuse and divorce and violence. In our own personal life, there are things that are just not right. In our gut, we know the world is not as it should be. It's messed up. What's more interesting is our response to this messed up world. We yearn for a good world, and we fight for solutions. Deep down inside, we ache for a better world. And it's that ache that speaks of something more. It points to a good world that is as it should be. Why is the world broken, and how can it be fixed? To answer this question, we go back to the beginning. In the Christian worldview, God created a good and wonderful world. And in the beginning, everything was right with one another. The creation worked as it should. There weren't any natural disasters. People were made to be in true community, and they were. Most significantly, we were designed in God's image to be in a relationship with Him, a relationship full of love and intimacy. The world and all that was in it was designed for good. But what happened to this good world, and how did we get to where we are today? Well, when God was in charge, we had a wonderful world. But in our freedom, we wanted the world and the relationships that we have to be used for our own benefit. Our selfish, sinful actions introduced evil into the world. When we sin, our relationship with God is broken. Our evil behavior divides us from a God who is holy, just, and good. And in the end, we are spiritually dead. This death and separation from God sends the whole world careening off course. On the systemic level, our selfish acts bring evil such as racism and injustice and oppression. On a relational level, our selfishness leads to broken relationships. We hurt others and others hurt us. When we live for ourselves, it's easy to take and to gain without regard for other people. So divorce breaks families. Abuse hurts children. We lie and we gossip and we deceive, wounding each other. Our selfish, evil behavior kills our relationship with God and corrupted the good world we live in. Our world is corrupted by evil. That's how we got there. But God loved us too much to leave us that way. In His goodness and His justice, God must purge the world of evil. Let's draw another circle. The world is messed up. But God, 2,000 years ago, entered our world as Jesus and started a resistance movement in the world. Jesus lived as we were designed to live, in perfect love with God and with people. And He started that resistance movement against evil in the world. But it wasn't a military revolt. Instead, He showed us the way we were designed to live. He cast out evil and He brought healing to the sick and food to the hungry. He wants to give us the power to overcome the evil in us and the evil in the world. He wants to give us the power to love God and love people. You see, Jesus did this. He took all the evil of the world and died on the cross, letting our evil die with Him. Jesus died the death that we deserved for our evil. And 3 days later, Jesus rose from the dead, proving that evil does not have the final word. In the mystery of faith, we die with Jesus to truly live in Him. While we were dead, Jesus' resurrection offers us life. This is the beginning of restoring the world for better. With our relationship with God restored, we are now invited to join God's revolution to restore the world. Together, we can learn to be more like Jesus. Together, we can love one another in true community, to forgive one another, and to begin to heal broken relationships. On a systems level, God is working to put all things to right and to end oppression and injustice and usher in His values of love and peace and justice. So how are we to respond? How can we see these things realized? To restore our relationship with God, we are called to submit to Jesus' leadership and to follow Him in His ways. The first step in this is admitting our contribution to the evil in the world and confess our sin, turning from it. The second step is to trust Jesus, to trust that His death pays the penalty for our evil. Third step, we receive the life that Jesus' resurrection offers us. And we give Jesus the control of our lives, learning to follow Him. When we do these things, our relationship with God is restored. Are you ready to take that step? So how about the whole world? How is the world going to be restored? We begin to follow Jesus by joining His resistance movement against evil. We join Jesus to go out and restore the world. In doing that, we learn to live how we were supposed to live and become more and more like Jesus. As we are becoming more like Jesus, we are called to heal relationships. We ask for forgiveness and forgive others. We are free to love each other in true community. And on a bigger level, we are called to work toward restoring the systems in the world that are broken. We're called to join Jesus and fight against injustice and oppression in the world. But many Christians have gotten stuck in this third circle, not following Jesus in this movement. But Jesus wants us to be in this fourth circle, following Him to restore. This move to the fourth circle is about joining the kingdom community and the kingdom mission. So where are you? What circle do you most identify with?